Let me pin the conversation.
You said pin the conversation. What conversation?
Hey y'all, so the topic today is love languages. We were actually gonna have special guests today, but they were unable to make it, and we were gonna talk about parenting, ways to discipline, but they couldn't come, so we had to be flexible and improvise. But it's okay, life happens. All right, so it's supposed to say love languages, but for some reason, I always leave the S out, but y'all get the gist. So how have y'all been doing this week? It's been rough. If I'm telling the truth myself, I'm gonna scoot the camera over. How's your week been?
A lot. Had some things going on with the job this week. Just structural changes going on within the job. So they had a meeting about that for a little over an hour today. Going out, meet clients. I'm gonna stay home. So the kids, I think they've been good. I guess we could talk about the slide that we just got them. Mm-hmm. But other than that, it's been a cool little week. But glad tomorrow's Friday. Say that.
Yeah. I would say for me this week has just been pretty overwhelming. I just feel like there's not enough time in the day. I just feel like I'm just exhausted, depleted, but I'm alive, so I can't complain. I have thought about, if I feel like there's not enough hours in the day, then maybe I need to get up earlier. But then there's so much stuff to be done in the evening that I'm like, once our kids go to sleep, it's like I can finally get some stuff done. Although, we're exhausted at that point. But it's like if I add going to sleep earlier to getting up earlier, I don't know.
You said going to sleep, wait, what?
Going to sleep earlier so I can get up earlier. But by the time we get the kids to sleep, that's the time that I feel like I can get stuff done. So it's going to be kind of rough. But, okay, so I have two things I want to talk about before we get started. Number one, earlier when I was driving, we were almost, well, not we, but me, my mom, and my kids were in the car, and we were almost, we were so close to a car accident. These kids kind of turned in front of another car and basically got hit to the point where their airbags deployed and everything. So that was kind of stressful a little bit, but they didn't hit us. Yeah, it was right next to us.
You say
right next to us, right where that church is, actually. On the road where our house is, the church where you turn.
The first one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and then y'all, so I was at Home Goods earlier today, not too long ago, and the line was ridiculous. And I didn't really pay too much of it, but I was I had plenty of time to kind of observe. So I'm looking around and I see there's two cashiers, and they're obviously busy, short-staffed or whatever, but they still were really nice, really sweet, really kind, asking everybody how they want their stuff bagged and do you want stuff wrapped, and excellent customer service. So I'm like, okay, well, it's only two of them. The line is super long, so, but it's nice that they still have positive attitudes. Well, it gets to me and my mom, and we by the time it almost gets to us, there's they opened up two more registers. So we're like, okay, cool. We're finally getting to the finish line. And so we get up to the lady to ring us up, and she didn't say nothing to us. So we're like, okay, cool. Hey girl, how are you? How's your day? I just asked her how her day was, and she was like, I'm okay. Real dry. And I'm like, But you was just
Oh, it's the same cashier as
the
earlier?
same cashier. You was just bubbly with everybody else. Now, mind you, this is a predominantly white area. Cashier's white. Everybody else around us is white. She was very friendly, very kind to everybody else. But I wasn't even thinking about race or anything like that because she was nice to everybody. So I'm just like, okay, cool. So she gets to us and she's just like, don't even speak, nothing. But I'm like, okay, cool. How are you? You know, you're tired, whatever. But then she gets to bagging up my stuff, and I have like some stuff that's fragile, and she just throws it in the bag. Like, okay, but you asked everybody else if they wanted their stuff wrapped, so can you not do the same for me? Like, I'm not asking for anything extra. I'm just asking for what you gave everybody else. So I said to her, I've got a lot of stuff that's kind of fragile. Like, if you don't mind wrapping it. And she's like, well, I mean, this isn't glass. I forget what it was, but basically something, if you drop it, it would break. And she was kind of going back and forth with me. And I was just like, but you didn't do that for everybody else. So I don't know. That was frustrating for me. I've worked in customer service. I've been a waitress before. I've been a waitress at so many different restaurants at this point. It's ridiculous. I have worked from like 9 a.m. to like 2 a.m. So you don't have to explain to me what tired is. You don't have to explain to me what customer service is. What I don't understand is if you're tired, that needs to be tired across the board. But for you to get to the black people and you suddenly have no energy, you suddenly can't give me the same thing that you gave everybody else. That really made me feel some type of way. And normally it's my mom that says something, but my mom was shopping, so she didn't observe like what I observed. But my mom knew that something was wrong because I never like say nothing to people. I never really comment on stuff like that because, you know, I just don't have that kind of time. But I had time today. So I was just like, I don't know. After a while, you get kind of tired of people treating you any kind of way just because of like what you look like and stuff. I think that that's frustrating because that was the second incident that I dealt with this week. But I'm not going to bore y'all with the first incident. But that was frustrating because I had a lot going on because I had my twins with me. I'm trying to make sure that they're good. I'm like rocking them at this point. They're hungry and they're tired. And then to come to her and she's acting like that was, you know, kind of frustrating for me. But that's what I wanted to share.
I guess she didn't get the memo. It was Black History Month.
Apparently not. I'm just like, well, what did I do to you? Like, what is the problem? Let me know. I don't know. And then the other lady, I'm just tell you real quick. The other lady, earlier this week, I was at Home Goods again, and
Sound like the common thing.
clearly I need to stop going to Home Goods. But
yeah.
I just pulled up really quickly, and I pulled up next to this white lady in her car, and she's just sitting in the car. And she looks at me and locks her door real quick. And I'm like, you know how like you can hear the power lock. So she looks over and locks the car real quick. I'm like, I'm in my car. I just pulled up. Like, how am I going to get in your car that quick?
She said she just saw it on the news that it just happened. Black
I'm
lady
just
comes
like,
assault
what
old
is-
white lady. That's
Yeah,
what
black lady pulls up and she's going to get in my car and take me away. Like, what is wrong with people? I don't know what it is. I don't know what's going on. But first of all, I feel like your car should be locked, period. I just feel like if you're in the car by yourself, especially as a woman, your car should be locked, period. It shouldn't take a black person to pull up next to you for you to suddenly lock your doors. But you should have locked your doors anyway.
she said you were the reminder.
Yeah, apparently I was the reminder, but I'm not worried about you, sis. Like, I'm tired. Miss _ Glow Getter said, oh, I'm sorry you had to go through that. We are all one. Yes, we are all one, girl. Thank you. Tony's _ hands _ said, I like my doors when white people across.
You said like?
I think he meant
Oh,
lock.
lock.
I lock
Oh.
my doors when white people across my area.
I lock my old doors when I don't know. Okay.
I guess he locks his doors when white people
are in the area. That's what I'm going with.
I just think people should lock their doors, period. But I just don't think it's not. I feel like a lot of times people are so worried about what black people are doing, and black people aren't the only people that commit crimes. Everybody commits crimes. So I just don't think we should be focused so much on just black people. Like if I was a white person and I was into crime, I feel like I would go and steal when there's like a whole bunch of black people around, because people so worried about what we're doing. Like, and just stealing is wrong. But I just think that we need to worry about everybody, not just,
She said she saw
my people. Tony said, sorry, meant to say I lock my doors when white people pass by my area to show them how it feels, and I laugh. I thought about that. I thought about like grabbing my purse out of the buggy when I see people like that aren't black walk by, like how I feel like they do for us. I don't feel like it's effective because I don't really think that they care, but it would be nice.
They're probably thinking the black person behind you.
Yeah, it would be nice. I always say it would be nice for. I feel like it would be nice for everybody to walk in everybody's shoes, whether that be like black people, whether that be like you're disabled. Whatever the case may be, I feel like everybody should be in everybody's shoes at some point, because I think you'd have a totally different perspective.
Are you saying as a race, like just a race thing, or
in general?
Oh, okay.
I mean, to be white for a day, that'd be interesting to see what that's like, because I feel like, especially being black and going to being a white person, because we have to like fight for everything. Not to say like
I don't know if I like that.
I feel like I would be kind of like I don't know how I'd react, because life has been totally different. But what I will say is it would be interesting to see white people be black for a day. I would love that. Actually, a month.
No.
Just a month. But really a day. Just to see, because I think it'd be eye-opening. And I've actually talked to a few people who are white, who raise black children, and they realize, at that point, what racism really is. And you don't realize it because it doesn't affect you. And I can't be mad, because if I was not black, I don't know that I would care about racism either. I would like to think I would, but I don't know that, because I have no choice but to care.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
And I wonder not the white race, but other races, you have your Asians, Latino, Hispanics.
Yeah.
I wonder if they feel the same way in different aspects, not necessarily how we see it, but I'm pretty sure they get it in other ways.
Yeah, I think all of us should walk in everybody's shoes. I think we should maybe be like in a Hispanic person's shoes, an Asian person's shoes. Like, I think all of us should kind of, just to see, because I'm sure there's things that they go through that we don't understand either.
Now, how long do we walk in their shoes?
Being black, I feel like I could be in anybody's shoes for a month. I'm cool. Because you're black, so you already dealt with, a good bit.
I'm just asking a question.
I don't know everything, but what do y'all think? My black people, if you had to be any other race, how long do you think you could be it? Because I just feel like if we're black and we've already gone through a lot, what else is there?
What about the non-black people? What about if they want to be another race?
I don't know. Miss_Glow-Getter said, I feel like when it comes to race, it's what you believe in your mindset. Agreed. I probably experience it, but I do not realize. And if I do experience it, I address it there. I like that. I like addressing it there. I feel like sometimes I address it and sometimes I don't, because sometimes I don't feel like I have the proper verbiage because I'm so angry. And so sometimes I don't address it. Cheyenne said, I would just be Latina. Okay, girl. I feel like the thing about Hispanic people, I feel like Hispanic people are like black, so I don't know if that would be like, well,
probably the closest thing to,
I guess I feel like they're the closest thing to black, so I feel like that wouldn't be much of a change. I suppose I'd speak Spanish, I would hope, but other than that,
that's a major change right
there. They because
all Hispanics don't speak Spanish for whatever reason.
I know that.
For whatever reason.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I guess because with Hispanics, there's different like races within that as well. So there's some Hispanics that look like us. Remember when we went to Cuba and they looked y'all, when we went to Cuba, like they looked exactly like us. When I tell you they look exactly like us, which was different than what they portray in the movies and stuff. But the only difference is they spoke like fluent Spanish. But we could have blended in if we spoke Spanish. Mm-hmm. I thought that was interesting because me and Terry was like, where are we at? Like, what is...
And then you walk up to somebody, you're like, hey, how do you get to? And they speak just fluid Spanish.
Fluid, yeah.
And
only
you have to pull
Spanish.
out Google Translate, hoping it.
When we went to Spain, they only spoke Spanish there, and we didn't.
Which makes sense.
Yeah, but we couldn't. Remember, we had to go all the way to the hotel to ask a question because nobody could understand.
Yeah, because the thing is, we went the wrong way. So instead of going left, we went right, and we kept going right until we realized that we probably should ask for help.
Yeah, we were stuck. Cheyenne says seasoned food, good music, and they love the Lord. Okay, girl. We don't know if all Hispanic people love the Lord, but we would hope.
That's any race, though.
Yeah, that's. That is funny. Okay, yeah. But yeah, that was my experience for the week. I hate having to go through racism and deal with racism, but it kind of comes with the territory. I just wish other people would just be more woke.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I just want them to be more.
So you want them to open their eyes. I got you.
I want them to open their eyes. Candy said, what I missed. Nothing, girl. We just talk about life as a black person. Some racism I experienced this week, but same old, nothing new. Okay, so you want to get right into the love languages?
Yeah, so you lead it. I'll figure that.
All right, y'all. So today we're going to talk about love languages. Like I said earlier, we were supposed to have special guests, but they had to cancel. They had an emergency. So we're not going to talk about disciplining children today. We're going to talk about love languages. So the 5 love languages are words of affirmation, acts of service, gifts, physical touch, and quality time. I wrote it down in case I forgot. So what do you want to share with the people what your love language is?
Read them off again.
Okay, like what is going on? I know your love language. It's words of affirmation, acts of service.
I'm changing my love language.
Gifts, quality time, and physical touch.
I want my love language to become gifts.
What's y'all's love language?
I want mine to become gifts now.
Miss underscore glow getter said quality time.
I want mine to be gifts now.
Okay, what's your love language?
Probably physical touch.
Yeah, my love language is what do you think my love language is?
Words of affirmation.
Yeah, I feel like my love language could really be all of the above, to be honest with you. But like Sister Circle said, all of them, yes. Hey y'all who are joining. I would say my main one would be words of affirmation though.
So you fluent in 6 languages now.
Yeah, it's 5, but yeah.
No, but English.
Oh yeah, I was like, where'd you add the extra one? Yeah, I feel like I'm equal for words of affirmation and acts of service. So we actually, before we got married, I don't know if you remember this with our the marriage small group thing that we had to do, or not the marriage small group. It was a premarital counseling.
Yeah, small group. Yes, I remember that.
Yeah, we did premarital counseling, and they made us take the test then. Cheyenne said acts of service. Jax Queen _07 said quality time and gifts for my husband is words of affirmation. That's really cool. Yeah, so we had to do this in the premarital counseling. It was important for us to know each other's love languages. So with love languages, since yours is physical touch, like what does that look like for you?
What the word says. Physical and touch.
Y'all.
Hey.
This is when I try to have deep conversations with my husband. This is what he does. So what does that look like for you? It says.
It looks great. Would you like me to
elaborate?
Can you
yes.
elaborate?
Like, what is going on?
I guess just whether it be kissing, be intimate moments. It could be just coming in the house, hug, kiss, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I guess not going too deep, but yeah, I would say you kind of get the idea.
Yeah,
physical touch.
Just for you to share, like what, in case somebody else is maybe spouse's physical touch, then maybe they can know what to look for.
To look for.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Are you asking me to go deep?
No, it's okay.
Oh, okay. Because I'm like, I don't know.
No, I'm saying I only ask you to elaborate on physical touch for other people, like whose spouses or significant other may have the love language is physical touch. In case they're wondering, like, what that means.
What they like?
No, okay. Anyway,
Okay, I'm like,
words of affirmation
What does
for
it
me means I like for you to acknowledge, to acknowledge different things, like, you look nice today, or the food is good today, or just anything, acknowledging anything.
Food is good today.
I mean,
Is there
I
days the
thought
food
about that after I said it. Like, the
days
food
the
ain't good
food-
tomorrow, but it's good
Listen.
today.
Does word of affirmation work? Well, I guess if I'm affirming that the food is not good, is that still words of affirmation?
So for me, I like words
Is
of
it
affirmation, positive or negative, because to me, if I make something, because since we're talking about food, if I make food and you don't tell me if it's good or bad, then I'm gonna like cook it again. And what if you don't like it? Then I don't know. So for me, I rely a lot on what people actually say.
Does it matter how it's said though? Does that play? a factor into it?
It depends on the topic. I would say for you, I feel like for me, y'all, I am not a sensitive person. Any of my friends could tell y'all, like, I don't really cry like that. It's really rare if I'm crying. But with my husband, I cry more. With my husband and with my mom, I would say. But everybody else, I don't cry. I don't know what that's about. Like, I get extra sensitive with y'all too. But everybody else, I'm a thug. Okay, Miss_Glow-Getter said, question, if it is a love language, does that mean what you like receiving or giving? I guess it could be, so when I think of love language, I think of what I like.
Receiving, yeah, I think.
Yeah, what I like to receive. Because, and I think that's important because, like, what I like to receive may not be what my husband likes to receive. Like he said, his thing is physical touch, and for me, my thing is words of affirmation. I can tell my husband, like, oh, you're doing great at that, and you're doing great at this, and I'm sure that he, that makes him feel good, but that's not like his number one.
I was gonna say, because if you flip it, let's just say you say you're, let's just say, in my instance, it's physical touch, right?
Yeah.
I can't project that onto you and make it become yours now. That's why I can't be giving, because if I do that and it's not yours, you're not going to receive it that well, or you're still going to be wanting more at the end of the day. So that's, I think that's why it has to be receiving and not giving.
Yeah, I think that's very important because when we don't have deep conversations, then we automatically make assumptions, and we're like, okay, this is the way I love to be loved. So I automatically assume, like, okay, my husband likes to be loved the way that I do, because we don't have that conversation about. I think when it gets lost in translation,
I would think you would perceive. Let's say yours could be words of affirmation, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of women probably going to think guys are physical touch, which mine just happens to be. Mm-hmm. But you saw.
I don't think necessarily.
Probably, if I had to guess, I would say. If I had to guess, I'm gonna say a lot would say yes.
Okay.
But let's just say, like, somebody in the chat, they said I don't know if it's husband or whatever, said that theirs is, what was it, words of affirmation and gifts or something to that effect?
I think so.
So, but if you're already thinking it's one, and then you keep going down this route of physical touch, and you're like, well, I'm doing everything right, but that's not what he's longing for at the end of the day, even though that does play a part into it, but that's not what he wants at the end of the day. So that's probably why there's probably a disconnect. And
if you're loving the person the way that you want to be loved instead of what they want.
No, you're loving them the way that you think they should be loved, rather than how they want to be loved.
Yeah, I think we're saying the same thing.
I don't think we're saying something. You're saying, okay, go ahead and say what you're saying.
So I'm saying if my love language is gifts, then I give you gifts.
No, that's not what I'm saying. So I'm saying your love language is gifts, but you think my love language is words of affirmation.
Okay, I'm just choosing something.
Yeah,
else.
so you're
Okay,
choosing
okay.
something for me rather than it actually being what.
Which is
it
kind of
for
the
me.
same thing, because if your love
No,
language
that's
is
what I
not
said.
gifts, then
That's
when
what I
I
said.
give you gifts, then
That's what I said.
yeah.
It's,
Okay.
I would say it's in a ballpark, but it's not. That's what
Okay.
I'm saying. It's not the same thing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, I agree that communication is important because you have to know the way that each other wants to be loved.
But what I will say is that doesn't just mean if somebody's love language is what words of affirmation, that's the only thing you do. Obviously,
Yeah,
you can
agreed.
still give gifts. You can still physical touch, still part of that.
Mm-hmm.
The other two that I can't remember, quality time and whatever the other one is.
Acts of service.
Yeah, there we go. Acts of service. So
Yeah.
so those still play a part into it. You don't have to deny those all the way, but I
Yeah.
think you probably have your main one, and then after that, that's like, think about it. It would be like, in a sense, not probably the best comparison, but think of like your TV shows. Let's say you have your top TV show that comes on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, that's your top one, but that's not the only TV show you watch.
Yeah,
you have
no, I
other
agree.
things you watch as well. So if you think of it like, in a sense like that,
Yeah.
not the best comparison, but if you think of it like that, it kind of probably put things in a better perspective for you.
Yeah, no, agreed. I think that's definitely important. And one thing I realized too is love languages don't just apply for your relationship as far as like your spouse, your boyfriend, girlfriend, whoever. It also applies to friendships.
Wait, what?
Love languages can apply to friendships. Now,
What type of
for-
friendships?
Babe, can I finish?
I'm sorry. I'm confused.
So obviously with your friends, let's hope that your love language ain't physical touch. But for me, words of affirmation is my love language. So when I have like friendships and stuff, when they tell me, oh, you're like a great friend, or when they give me some sort of validation, then I like that as well. So it's like the same.
Is this called like
thing.
friendship language?
I don't know what it's called, but I think that's a lot of times when people are having different relationships with other people, and why people are clashing is because, especially when it comes to like friendships, mainly with women, because I feel like guys are kind of like, y'all's friendships are a little different.
Sports? Oh,
But-
I got my favorite team. Oh, we're good to go. We're good to go. We
Yeah.
can talk about that for hours.
I think that's where the disconnect goes with a lot of friendships, because I may think that my friend wants things one way, but then the friend, they may want me to validate them with giving them gifts versus I want you to validate me in affirmation. So there has to be some sort of like, regardless of who you're loving, you just have to figure out the way that they want to be loved. It can't just be the way you want to be loved, whether that be your spouse, whether that be your friend, whether that be your cousin.
Are there different tiers to this though?
I would imagine so, and I don't really want to speak on that because I don't really know.
Oh, okay, because I'm over here just wondering. Over here, friend language. That's new to the ball game for me.
Miss_Glowgetter said it would be nice to research what determines a person's love languages. Yes, there is a website you can go to that tells you your love language. It's like a little mini test that you take.
You think, if you Google it, you probably pop up, right?
Yeah, but I need you to do that.
Oh, I was telling.
A46Beat said, "Hey, power couple." That's sweet.
So who are they talking to?
Right. I'm like, that's really sweet. Thank you.
Over here made me sit up.
Right. Miss_Glowgetter said, "I get what you mean. Like, love is love, so everyone gets a love language, even if family and friends." Yes. Yeah, so I don't mean like if my love language is physical touch, then that doesn't necessarily mean I want to go and like have sex with my friend. But that can mean like some people, like when you're meeting people and they like to hug and they like to hold hands, they get something from that.
What happened to that hug too long though?
Some people do hug too long. That's when you give them that. Right, thank you.
I think you can just Google it and it just pop.
What did you
I just
under-
put love language test in Google and then 5 love languages.
Yeah,
pop
the
up.
5 love languages. If you just put, that's what the website is actually called. 5 love languages, the number 5. And you could take the test. So,
There's other tests.
I would definitely recommend that in dating, relationships, whatever the case may be. I just think it's really important for you to know your love language. I would say. Because I feel like that helps in our relationship, wouldn't you say?
Helps out a lot. It helps out a great deal. It helps out. So I'm just messing with you.
Miss underscore glow getter said, I meant like, what's the root cause of a person then having a specific love language, as in going deeper? What's the root cause of a person? What?
I think she's saying like what I could be wrong, but I'm thinking she's saying what's the inherent reason somebody has a specific love language. Whether like how mine's physical touch, is there like a reason, like a backstory behind that? Like why is yours words of affirmation?
You know what? That's really a good question. You know, I think that could be. I think that could be. I think that could be a combination of things, to be honest with you. I think that could be like things that you observe that you might feel like are important, things that have been done to you. Like maybe somebody, like say your love language is like gifts, and somebody gave you a gift while you were younger or something, and you really felt like that was really important to you. Or somebody told you, I don't know, did your mom hug you a lot while you were a kid or something? I don't know. I don't know. I don't remember now. I don't know specifics. I'll just say I think that something happens to you in your life, whether you observe it, whether you're around it and you liked it, whatever the case may be, you encounter something that feels good to you to some capacity, and I think that that's where it comes from personally.
So we're saying we have to take a deeper dive into this,
basically. Okay. But I'm trying to think of words of affirmation. Why that's important to me stemming from a young age.
Because just based off the question, I wonder if she's thinking, like, did you not get this in a certain area, or did you get it? And
that's what I was thinking about too.
So, that's the only thing.
And when I think of words of affirmation, I feel like I got that from like my mom and stuff. I think that she definitely, you know, my mom tells everybody they the fire, the truth, and they the best thing ever. So I don't know, but I think that, so when I was younger, I felt like I went through a lot of just people saying like negative, mainly women, just being negative towards me. And when I was younger, I wasn't like very, I wasn't like opinionated, and so I kind of kept to myself and was very like laid back and chill. I wasn't the Destiny that I feel like I am now. And so, I think that maybe because I allowed people to tear me down so negatively, that when people started saying nice things to me and building me back up, then I'm like, oh, that felt good. That's the only thing I can think of for me specifically, is that I went through a stage where I was very like torn down as a person. And I think that people just, you know, when I finally got to a point where people started saying nice things and being positive, then that meant something to me. Which really, from that story, and this is from when I was like young, from that story, you shouldn't really be seeking no validation from other people. So, because you should be having that within yourself or within like God or whatever it is that you believe in. But I think that that's where it came from me. Like, if I'm being 100% honest, I think that it came from like other people kind of tearing me down, and then people being like meeting people when I was down who were positive and uplifting me. And then those words really meant a lot to me, and maybe that stuck with me.
Okay. Interesting. I'm just, all right. Who is A46 Beats?
I don't know. What is going on? I'm just enjoy brain stimulation, like diving deeper into topics. Me too.
And I think she was saying that you don't have to dive too deep.
We don't have to. Right, wait, what did she say?
Yeah, who is this? Hold up a second. All right, there we go.
All right, we blocked A46 Beats because he was doing the absolute most. I don't even know who that is. Miss Go Gooder said, we don't have to do in on you guys. I just meant
She was talking about, you know how you just did the deep dive, talking about
Oh,
yourself?
yeah, I don't mind getting deep, y'all. I love to get deep. But no, I definitely think there's a reason why people are the way they are, for sure. Mm-hmm. Or why you feel like a specific love language. Yeah. Okay, is there anything else? Anything else y'all want us to talk about love languages before we go on? Somebody submitted to us a question in my DMs, and so I wanted to make sure we address that. I don't know that they're on right now, but I'm gonna address it, and then we can just whoever asked it, I'll let them remain anonymous because the question's kind of.
Oh, I thought you were about to say their name.
No, I didn't even write their name down, so I can't even say it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so the question says, I have an issue with intimacy. I want kids, but I'm 37 and my husband is 45. We've been married 4 years, but intimacy is a huge issue, and removing condoms is a whole other issue. What are your thoughts?
Oh, I thought you was about to go on a rant.
No, this is, what do you mean you thought I was going to go on a
That's what I
rant?
thought. You read the question. I just get the question and you're like, what's your thoughts? All right.
I have an issue with intimacy.
What part of intimacy is she talking
They're
about?
not here, they're fun.
Yeah, I guess that's the. Well, I guess she said condom, so sexual.
Well, and then the question is,
is she trying to have kids, or like what is like we would need more to this story?
married for a trip, but intimacy is a huge issue. Yeah, I would say removing condoms is a whole issue. Miss Underscore Go Getter
Like, is
said
she
IVF. I don't know. Well, I would imagine. So if they're saying removing condoms is a whole other issue, then maybe that would mean that she can get pregnant if she's talking about removing condoms. Because otherwise, you don't really care about that if you.
Or she doesn't want kids, and that's why she won't.
No, it says I want kids.
Oh.
But I'm 37. My husband's 45. So I guess the question is the husband having issues with removing the condom?
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, somebody doesn't want to have kids.
I hate that we can't answer this, but if the case is that you want kids and your spouse doesn't want to have kids, that's a really deep topic.
They've been married going on 4 years. Yeah, that's so the issue. Yeah, he doesn't want kids.
Tony _ hands on says sounds like she has an issue with trust. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think if removing condoms is the issue, I think he doesn't want to have kids, and that's a bigger topic. But she's 37.
Mm-hmm. And for women, it kind of sucks too because you feel like you're almost on a
you're on a clock. What you mean?
Like a biological clock, which you really are because they told when I had my kids when they told us 35 you're considered like high risk just based off your age. And I was 30 at the time, so it's like, I mean, dude, so if she's 37, then she's probably feeling like, okay, we need to get this thing going. And if he's not wanting to remove condoms, I don't know. Me personally, I just feel like this is a really deep topic. I feel like before you get married, you really got to talk about like what are deal breakers and what aren't deal breakers. And I can't really say that they did or did not talk about this in the beginning of their relationship because people do lie sometimes. So maybe if that is the case, maybe he acted like he wasn't a kid, and then now that it's time to have him, he's like, yeah, it's a no for me.
He said, this isn't going good for 4 years now. Why are you trying to make it stop?
We're doing good without kids now, so I don't know. But I would just say as women, you're on that biological clock. You gotta really kind of be aware of, your body, things that you want. So if that's not something that aligns with what you want, then I would just keep it moving, personally.
But they've been married for 4 years, though.
I mean, that's nice, but if we're not aligning as something that I feel like I really want, because that's not something that I feel like women can really wait on. You get what I'm saying? Like, if I was, 17
my thing, okay, all right, cool.
Or 27, maybe.
All right, in your scenario, she is in, okay, all of a sudden, they're not aligning on that. Mm-hmm. So you're saying she's just going to go out there and find somebody else in the next, couple months?
I'm saying if that's a deal breaker for you. So for me, if I...
but like you said earlier, a deal breaker should have been...
But sometimes people lie and say that they wanted kids and don't. So for me, when me and my husband got married, we talked about things that were very important to us. Number one on our list was having children. Mm-hmm. I really wanted to have a kid and my husband decided 5 years into the marriage that he didn't want to have kids, I would have been like, deuces, because I feel like it's okay to do that because I made it very clear in the beginning that that's what I wanted.
Okay.
As well as my husband did the same. So I'm like,
I agree, but I'm saying I agree with that.
No, I know.
But I'm saying, what would you do in the other scenario if you didn't talk about it, and then all of a sudden it does become an issue later on?
If I didn't talk about it and it did become an issue, I would.
That's what I said. It becomes.
That would be kind of tough because that is a deeper convert. I don't know because I feel like you can't really be as mad if you didn't talk about it. But I also feel like sometimes people don't. Sometimes people don't know like what all they're supposed to talk about before they get married, you know? Mm-hmm. So I feel like sometimes you're young when you get married and they weren't. Yeah. No, I know. Well, I was just thinking.
I feel like things on the table already.
But sometimes people just don't know. And people don't always have the.
And then if he already has kids, he probably thinking.
That's true too.
Yeah, and I know we just made up our own scenario, but.
Yeah, y'all, we're totally making up the scenario a little bit too because we don't have the full story. But Cheyenne said people can change too, and Sister Circle _ said, or they can change their minds. No, I totally agree that people can change their minds. But for me personally, if I wanted kids and my husband changed his mind, then I would change my mind on marrying him and I would move on. Like, because there's just certain things that's very important to me.
But
this is just me specifically.
I don't think we're saying before the marriage. I think we're saying in the marriage.
In the marriage, if that was something that was very important to me, because in marriage, here's the thing, people. In marriage, there has to be compromise. So there may be some things that I want, that I really want, and he may not want 100%, but we still got to meet each other halfway and vice versa. There may be things that is really important to him and not so important to me, but we still have to meet, halfway because it's all about compromise. If you don't want to compromise, then you probably shouldn't be married because, that's all marriage is. It's compromise, dying to yourself, compromise. I can't stress it enough. You're compromising because you are a team. It's not just about yourself. So, as tough as it is to say, you have to, kind of agree on something. Now, a kid is kind of deep to kind of have a compromise on because...
So you can't have half of one.
Yeah, and then not only that, you don't want him to be resenting you. You don't want to be like, okay, I made him have this kid, and now he's kind of resenting me, and angry at me because now we have a kid. Because kids aren't something you want to make somebody have because kids are so much work, a lot of responsibility. They can be stressful at times. So I can't imagine having kids and don't really, really want them. So I don't know. For me, like, what would you do if, I already know your answer, but if I decided 4 years into the marriage that I want to have kids?
With my keys, I got to step outside for a second.
Okay, like, he is so annoying. So, y'all, what do y'all think, while we're on this topic, what do y'all think about, you mind if I share this about having kids before you met me?
Having kids before I met you? Oh, yeah. Oh,
so,
yeah.
y'all... I asked my husband if I had a kid.
It would still be my answer today.
Listen, y'all. I asked my husband if I had a kid before he met me, would he date me? And guess what his answer was?
N-O.
He said no, y'all. He said no. I'm just like... But why?
What?
Can you explain to me why?
Your answer is the same as mine.
Okay, but I have my reasons that
I
are
have
different.
a reason too.
I have my reasons that are different from yours. So, if I had a kid before him, he said no, he wouldn't date me. Why would that be?
Because I would want to have my own kids with you, and then
you
I don't have to deal.
But
then I don't want to have to deal with somebody else telling me how to raise our kids. Because if we're starting a family together, and you have a kid outside of, I guess, from what we created, then I don't have say because somebody else, the dad comes in and says, hey, I don't want him doing that.
Yeah.
And then now there's conflict in that aspect. I don't want to have to deal with that.
Even if I was open to having kids with you, you still wouldn't want to?
No.
Okay. What if the dad was dead or a deadbeat? Would you still say no?
Am I saying is this to you or are we just going
To
random?
me. I'm just curious. Like, what if I?
How old's the kid?
I don't know. The kid don't exist.
No.
but I'm
I need to know. It's very particular. I need to know these things.
I'm just curious.
I need to know
like,
how
what?
old this kid is. There's other factors.
Okay.
Because I will want my own kids with you. So
I don't know what this is. If that's a request to go live or what. But
what is what?
with that little boxes, I don't know. No, that's not the question box. 'Cause the question box is right there. No, I think that was to make somebody go live. Somebody had requested to go
I was
live.
about to.
Yeah.
about
So
to
for me, if my husband had a kid before I met him, I would say the kid is 14 and the daddy is raggedy. The kid is 8. If the kid is 14 and the daddy is raggedy, okay, kidders. I cannot. I would say so. If I met my husband, and we'll just say if I met you at, I was 25 when I met you. I think
The 14-year-old's cool, so I don't mind the 14-year-old.
Okay. Sarah would have said yes to the 14-year-old. What about the
8-year-old?
8-year-old? Would you have said yes to the 8-year-old?
The 8-year-old. Well, she didn't put if the dad's in life or not, because the dad's in life.
Got a new daddy. I cannot.
With the 8-year-old, again, I would need to know. I really need to know: is the dad in life or not? Because I don't need him showing up just randomly one day either.
Hey y'all.
And I think that would be my other issue too. If let's just say the dad was not in the life, but the dad's still around. Then he's going to always wonder who that person is.
Yeah.
And eventually, go search for him. And then that's a different level of conversation. And
Yeah.
then he's always going to wonder if I'm raising our kids differently than how I'd raise him. And then
You feel like that comparison.
Yeah, I have to say, even though you try your hardest not to, but internally he's probably going to be thinking like that.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
that is probably stuff, especially if I didn't have any kids, that I wouldn't have to deal with. Now, I would say, if I come into a relationship and I have a kid, I can't be telling somebody they can't have no kids.
No, agree.
Yeah, because I'm like, that's just hypocritical.
And there's women that are like that. Like they have a
No,
kid,
I know.
but they don't want you
Oh,
to
I
have
know.
a kid. Yeah. For me, if I met my husband at 25, which is the age I believe I was when I met him.
It wasn't, but
How old was I?
24.
Oh, 24, y'all. It's a blur. Miss Go-Getter said no dad showing up for the 8-year-old too. Cheyenne said, Kenneth said two raggedy daddies. Cheyenne said, what if the dad was dead or out of the picture?
I think they're talking to me on this.
Yeah,
one.
no, they are.
So the 8-year-old, yeah, it's cool because 8-year-old over here we can actually have a conversation and build something.
So if the kids are, if the dad is
The
dead,
dad has to be just gone.
if the
all
dad
the way.
is dead or deadbeat, like completely
gone.
raggedy, does the
It
age
just-
of the kid really matter? If there's no dad at all.
The age, yes, because the kid, if the kid is like 1 or less than 1, that means you just got out of a relationship with the dude.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, I was like, that's probably really young. But as you say, like some of these kids, they're older, so of course those relationships probably been gone.
Yeah. Doesn't mean that they couldn't have had other relationships.
They can have other relationships,
Yeah.
but I don't have to worry. The
dad
source of my
coming
problem
out.
is the dad popping up,
Yeah.
popping in and out the life, or just popping in and
Yeah.
be like, "Hey, I need to.
Remember me?
I want my son for the weekend," and I'm like, "No, our kids are staying right here."
Yeah,
So and I think that would be just for me. That's an issue for me.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I wouldn't want to have to deal with that. So I think that's where.
Ryan said, nah, 25, I wasn't ready to be a stepdad.
Yeah, stepdad. Yeah, that too. It depends on my age. Now,
Well, you were 23 when we met.
When we met.
Yeah.
But again,
23
now
is kinda
let's say I am. I'll say 35, maybe. I don't know. 35. I think my mindset has to change.
Let's hope.
After a certain point,
Let's
my
hope from
mindset
23 to
35. I think if I'm single, I'm looking for somebody and looking stuff that I think honestly my mindset has to change just because I can't expect everybody I meet in my age range anyway.
Yeah.
To not have a kid at that point.
No, agreed. Yeah. I totally agree.
Because most likely, I'm saying women eventually going to start having kids. Mm-hmm. So if they've not already had a kid, so all the women I'm expecting to meet at that point, in my mind, are going to have a kid. If they don't, they don't. But I'm expecting that going in. But at the age I was, no, that would have been hard enough for me.
Candace said that's me. He can't have no kids. Okay. So for me, I met him when I was 24, and I was very serious. Like, I don't want no man with no kids. Mainly for the exact same reason my husband's saying. I didn't want another woman to be kind of ruling and controlling the kids. But I always said, like, if she was dead or something, then I wouldn't mind that. And I hate to say that, but I also feel like now that I have kids, taking on that responsibility of someone else's kid that you didn't like raise from, birth to, whatever age.
Yeah, my thing would be, it'd be difficult for just seeing them, leave. Especially if you have them all the time. Mm-hmm. And then
I'm saying if the person was dead, though.
Oh, I was saying if the person's in life. Okay, you're gonna make them dead, yeah.
Yeah. No, but if they were dead, then it would be.
Yeah,
but I'm saying like at that age, at 24, at 24, they just drop off a 3-year-old and be like, oh hey, you meet a guy and he's got a 3-year-old, no mom involved. I feel like that'd be kind of difficult to go from being like a single woman. Well, not single woman, I guess, but like not having no kids to all of a sudden, okay, now you're like kind of like a stepmom and you got a 3-year-old.
Hey, I'll tell you right now, I'm pretty sure 3-year-old's better than going through that beginning stage.
I think that would be yeah, that would be.
At least they can feed themselves.
But we wouldn't know none of the stuff we know now. So now that I have kids, I would definitely.
We had little cousins, so.
But having little cousins and being a full blown parent and you can't return the kid to me is totally different. I don't feel like I know. Like I feel like I know way more now than I did just babysitting somebody.
They don't have return to sender when they come in.
Okay. But yeah, no, I think that, being 24, I definitely wouldn't want a man without no kids. If the man was like 100%, with kids, yeah. I'm sorry. If the man was like 100% like everything that I was looking for, then maybe I would compromise. But that wasn't really something I was looking for. Now, if I was older, like in my 30s, I feel like now, yeah, like I'm 32. So if I was 32 and single, then I would be open to that. But
that's what I said. Even now, I was thinking if I was single now, would I? I don't know. I think I would.
It's these women out here trying to be like co-parenting and with these. Mm-hmm. Some people are just petty. Some people are very mature and stuff, but some people are very petty. Miss Go Getter said that would have been difficult not having kids before. Yeah, that's my thoughts. Like if I didn't have kids and I was just thrown into a situation of being a full-blown parent and I was like, living my best life at that time, that would be very challenging.
Imagine trying to go out and then you realize that you still got somebody at the house.
She said you act different after you have kids. Like now you will have a mom instinct compared to before having kids. No, I totally agree. Mm-hmm. Before that, if I was to read what you wrote before I had kids, I'd be like, no, I understand having kids like a little bit and stuff. But now that I have kids, I didn't understand nothing before I had kids. Like my mind is totally like, everything is about my kids. Like everything is about like, making sure they're okay. And when I'm around other people's kids, then I'm even different as well, I'd say. Mm.
In which way are you different?
I feel like I've always cared, but I don't know. I feel like I'm more patient as well. And I'm more patient with other parents as well.
Parents, I
Because
can see
before,
that.
like when I was in the grocery store and people used to have like kids that cry, I'd be like, if you don't shut that kid up, like what is going on? But now I'm that parent whose kid is screaming. I was that parent today, and I'm just like, like pushing the little stroller, like he gonna shut up at some point. And I know somebody in that store is like, if she don't shut that kid up, just like how I used to be, but. You know, sometimes you just can't do it. Like sometimes no matter what I do to help my kid, it's not enough. And that's okay, but I didn't understand that until I had kids. Like sometimes parents are tired. But instead of you being like, you know, looking back, instead of me being like, somebody just shut that kid up, I could have been that person that like went over and like smiled at the kid or did something to make them laugh. Or, you know, you don't really go and hold people's kids because people are crazy now. But you could go over there and smile at the kid or something, you know, or ask that mom, does she need help? I felt looking back.
Or you had a kid that don't like people, and then you just make them cry more.
Yeah, like our kid doesn't like people.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
yes, it brings patience. Yes, I definitely have way more patience than I did before. I'm definitely way more understanding than I was before. What way do you feel like you've changed having kids now?
I like being at the house anyway, so.
I'm just saying in general, what ways do you feel like having kids changed you?
I guess I wake up in the middle of the night and to see
Just
if they're
be concerned.
Yeah,
if
to see
they're
if they're okay, because
Yeah.
usually I can sleep through the night pretty easy.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like I feel like sometimes I just treat them like little people, especially now. They're just little people. You just gotta make sure they're fed and whatnot.
Yeah.
I think that's my main thing. I just try to make sure they eat something. It might not be the best thing all the time, but I make sure they have some food.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah. No, I think that I have way more patience than I was before. Every little thing used to set me off, and now I've got a lot more patience. Now, don't get me wrong, my kids still get on my nerves, but I feel like I have a lot more patience with your average person than I did before. I feel like you always have been a patient person.
Yeah, that's what I said. I
yeah.
don't think patience was not in that aspect, especially people with kids.
Yeah, no. My husband is like so good with kids. Like he's always been great with kids. Miss _ Glow Getter said more responsibility, definitely. Way more responsibility, and the decisions that I make, I also think about my kids. Like I'm not gonna, like before I used to be like, I want to go skydiving and I want to do this and I want to do that. Now I'm like, your girl is not doing no skydiving. I'm not doing none of that stuff because I have kids to live for now. Like I can't just be going and doing reckless stuff. Like I have to really think about them. And there's nothing wrong if you want to go and skydive or anything like that. But for me personally, I'm not going to do anything that puts my life at risk even more than
I wasn't doing no skydiving before kids, so I don't know.
Oh,
what
I
you're
was
talking
so into like adventurous stuff.
about.
Now I'm
we could have
like,
did the little air thing that's inside that little dome that do skydiving.
yeah.
I wasn't doing none of that.
She said, what time is it over there? It is 9:05. But yeah, no, I would 9:05 p.m. I feel like the decisions that I make now is more so like I think about the kids when I make the decisions.
Yeah.
Like I feel like when you're single, you think about yourself. When you're married, you think about your spouse. But when you have kids, you think about your kids, and you're like, okay, I have to go to work because of my kids. I gotta, whatever I do,
Play some
I gotta do it
educational
for my
stuff
kids.
so they can actually learn some things.
Teach them something. Fight through no matter how tired I am.
Read them stuff.
The last 2 nights, the twins have been waking up in the middle of the night. And so we are like literally exhausted while we're on here. But like, to me, it's different for me, and I'll just speak for me and let you speak for yourself. But it's a little different because although I'm exhausted, depleted, and all that stuff, I still have to be a parent. I still have to show up for them and feed them and make sure like all their needs are met. No matter how exhausted I am, they still depend on me. And so like I feel like when you didn't have kids, it's like I'm tired, I ain't going to work, I'm calling in sick, I'm just going to sleep. But when you have kids, it's like I can't call in, I can't do all that stuff. I gotta still do 100% to make sure I can provide for them.
Yeah, you can't call in sick because then you got to stay at the house with them.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
So
but yeah.
it's a lot. It's your whole mindset definitely changes when you have kids. So yeah, y'all, make sure you're ready before you have kids because it's a lot. It's definitely rewarding, and I wouldn't change it for the world. I love being a mom, but it is definitely not a job for the weak. It is very exhausting. And I think that, obviously it gets better the older our kids get.
Yeah, in certain aspects.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, they whine more the older they get. I feel like.
Yeah.
But
And then we'll go through that like terrible Tuesday.
And they can start to do more things for themselves. So that's the bonus with it.
Yeah. I did not have a sense of life or goals before I had my daughter. After I had a child, I started looking at life differently, started having goals, and became work. And
goals and went to work. I don't know. Able to go to work. I don't know. Something.
I'm still going.
But that's good though.
That's when they get older. Yeah, no, that's really good. Your children will definitely bring that out in you. You definitely want to be better every single day for them because they depend on you. And I also hear a lot of things about making sure you're leaving, like creating generational wealth and making sure you're leaving something for your children, making sure your kids don't have to start from scratch. And so that pushes me as well, making sure like, okay, how am I going to set my children up for success? I can't quit because if I quit, then I'm failing them and they're depending on us. So I think that definitely, I feel like I've always been kind of motivated and stuff before, but I feel like I'm even more hungry to succeed because I got to make sure that, number one, I don't settle and just be complacent with the bare minimum. But number two, make sure that I set my kids up for success and make sure that when they get to graduate high school, that we have money for them to go to college and that, we can help them purchase a home. And I just want to really make sure that my kids don't have to start from scratch, that we can set them up because that's what a lot of other races are doing. They're setting their kids up for success. And that's why they're a lot more further ahead than a lot of other races.
They're leaving on businesses.
Nice houses,
so,
cars.
Things that are left within the family. So, and then, if the kids do right, it stays in the household. And then it grows generationally. And then that's where that wealth comes from at the end of the day. And then, of course, they grow these businesses. They turn into corporations. And now, next thing you know, you're talking about somebody that's under 40 years old who's a multimillionaire. You're trying to figure out how that happened. It's because it's been within the family for over 100 years.
Yeah, so, they didn't have to start from scratch.
Yeah, so.
And so we've got to do better especially as a black race. We got to definitely make sure that we are. You should be doing better, period. But we definitely got to make sure that we are setting our children up for success, that our kids should not have to start from the ground up. Other races are not starting from the ground up. We need to make sure we have those life insurance policies. We need to make sure that we have savings accounts. We need to make sure that we have everything for our kids can succeed. And I don't think we talk about that enough in the black community.
Yeah, because some of the things is people are like, all right, why would I set something up for when I die? I don't want to make somebody rich. And I think that's silly. But do you think it's that people think okay, if I have a life insurance policy, that somebody's gonna kill me so they can get the money? Get mad at me? I don't know. I think it comes into trusting who your family members are. Yeah, because I think that plays a big part of it. Because some people really do think, if I take out a certain policy, and somebody finds out. And they're going. But my thing is this: okay, say you killed the person, you're not getting the money. So what is the point? Is it really? And then, first of all, in this day and age, they're able to figure out everything. If you're able to really kill somebody and get away with it in 2023, then you've got to be pretty much a daggone expert in that field because they're figuring things out too quickly. It's not like back in the day where you can, drop a few bodies and nobody finds out about it. So I don't know. I just feel like for me, it's not really worth it. And why are we just go out there and get the money yourself? Why do you have to kill somebody to get the money? I don't know. Because they said it's faster. It is faster, but all money isn't good money. And I truly believe when you do crazy stuff like that, God is going to be haunting you for the rest of your life. You can't just be out there doing crazy stuff. I just believe God. He said he's going to repent after.
If I don't fear anything, I fear God. I don't want to make God mad. Period. She says savings and remembering that it's not only what you leave for the kids, but most importantly, what you leave in them. That is 100% correct.
No, I'm not even laughing. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm like, what are you
I was
laughing?
laughing at the one I saw the one under it.
Oh, the police. Yeah, no, what
Oh
you
my
instill in them
God.
is 100% accurate, for sure. You definitely, that those values, those morals, I feel like a lot of kids are lacking that now, and that's why kids are shooting up schools and acting a daggone fool. Like, I don't even know what's going on out there. But 1,000%, what you instill in them is more important than what you lead them, for sure.
Yeah.
Tony's _ hands on said the police.
Yeah. And I think I want to say, I think I heard it might be Steve Harvey say something similar to that as well. Or he might have been talking. No, actually, was he talking to somebody? He was talking to somebody, and they were talking about how what he left in his children. Because I don't think it was Steve. I think it was somebody Steve was talking to. What he left in his children was going to be a greater impact than the monetary value he could leave them.
Yeah.
Because he was like they can basically further his legacy even more and take the knowledge that he's given them and to do well for themselves. So they necessarily didn't even need what he is going to leave for them.
No, 1,000%. I love that. Mhm.
Yeah. So, I think that does matter a good bit. Yeah.
It does. And she said she got that from TD Jakes. Yeah, I love TD Jakes.
That might be who that was from. Yeah, that might be who that was from.
Yeah.
Yep.
Steve Harvey and TD Jakes.
There we
Oh,
go.
okay.
Yeah.
I gotta listen to that. That sounds like really good. But no, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. And then also too, we talk about like what we're teaching our kids and all that stuff, but not only just teaching them, but what are they observing you do? Like, what are you, I can't tell, like when we were growing up, I feel like it was a lot of like, do as I say, not as I do. And for me personally, I cannot stand that. And I don't want to be that parent. I want to be that parent, like, I'm telling you to do this, but I'm also doing what I told you to do. You know, so aside from like little things, like obviously I'm not going to ask nobody to do certain things because I'm an adult. So, you know, certain things I'm going to tell, like, you know how you tell your kids, like, ask me to go get a snack before you get a snack. Because I pay the grocery bill and I want to regulate what you're eating and make sure you're not eating a bunch of junk. So certain things is going to be like age appropriate, of course. But I want to be modeling like certain things. Like we don't really curse a lot. So, and don't get me wrong, we can curse you out. Well, I'll speak for myself.
Yes,
But we try not to do a lot of cussing because, and that was before we had kids, long before we had kids. I just don't, for me, I stopped cussing a lot because I realized if I can control it in front of my grandparents, my mom, you know, certain people, then that's not words I really have to use. So a long time ago, I kind of stopped. I started watching like the things that I say, and mainly too because I knew that I would have kids one day, and I want to make sure that, you know, I'm leading by example. But you know, I just want to make sure that we're modeling what we're telling them to do, not just saying it.
Yeah, yeah, and it makes a difference when you're growing up because then you start, especially when you go out, you think of things what your parents would do. Because if you think about it, as a kid, you're a blank canvas. So whatever your parents do, that's honestly your initial when you first go out into the world.
Yeah.
When you go to school, that's how you act at the end of the day. And
First impression. Yeah,
because you pick up even things that they tell you. When your friends tell you something else, you'll be like, "Well, no, this is not what I heard." But you start. No, you won't even say mommy. I wouldn't say that. I would just tell them. I would be like, "No, this is what the case is," even though it was from my parents. But
it's because you heard it.
Yeah, I heard it so many times.
So
I'd be like, no, it should be done like this, or no, this is the answer, or whatever.
Yeah.
But because I would hear my parents say it, so I think it plays a big difference.
No, for sure. You can teach, but kids look at what you do, they mirror us. I've learned that. Listen, our twins are 15 months, and they watch literally everything that we do, and they try to mimic everything that we do, and that taught me more than anything that, you know, number one, right now they can't really talk for real, but they can see what you're doing and they pay attention, and that made me realize, like, okay, I've got to watch my interactions, things I say, what I do around them.
Yeah,
because
Stuff
they're
the
they're
stuff
locked
you watch,
in.
Stuff you watch. There's so
Yeah, things that I
It's
told
so
my husband
refreshing.
the other day, like certain shows that I will watch before I'm not watching in front of them no more.
No,
And-
same here. Like, most of the time, their little kids show will be on.
Yeah.
Just because I don't know what to put on TV half the time, but I know that
You
is
can't
safe.
watch nothing these days. And
Yeah.
we're not saying, like, obviously our kids aren't going to be super sheltered, but I believe that things should be age appropriate. I'm not going to watch stuff with a whole bunch of cussing because my kids are learning different words and I don't want them to walk around like, you know, saying curse words all the time because they could repeat anything at any time.
Yeah, exactly. Or they think it's fun, and now that's the one word they say.
That sticks with
Yeah.
it. Yeah, so I'm just trying to pay attention because at the end of the day, a lot of this stuff you shouldn't be watching anyway. So some of the shows that I watch are kind of trash
Yeah, some of the
anyway.
stuff. Some of the stuff you watch. I watch good stuff.
Yes. They really do teach us to behave. No, they really do. They hold you accountable for sure without even knowing it. I feel like Terry and Tristan definitely hold me accountable for sure.
And when they start talking, they'll let you know.
Yeah, they're definitely
They will
gonna
listen.
let us know. So yeah, that's cute. So that's really all I had today.
Oh, okay.
That's all you had?
Oh, yeah. I guess I can look up some.
No, it's okay. All right, guys. So that is all we have for today. We really enjoyed you guys and your interactions. Those of you who popped in and out, we really appreciate it. We will be live every single Thursday. We'll try to be on time. It's supposed to be 7:30. We were on CP time today. I'm not sure what we'll be talking about next Thursday. But I will be putting up a marriage calendar on my story. So make sure you guys look in the stories to keep up with when we'll be going live again. We appreciate you guys. We love you guys. We thank you for all of your support. And we hope you guys have a great weekend.
What she said.
I'm 25 years old. My daughter,
At 17.
17. Imagine how it was trying to lead and also trying to learn my way. No, that definitely sounds she said she's 25 and had her daughter at
17.
17. Yeah, no, that
She was saying, imagine how it was trying to lead, and you need to be led. She had to
yeah,
learn her
no,
way.
I agree. That definitely sounds challenging because you're still learning yourself. So yeah, no, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say, yeah.
Yeah, but you're doing a great job, girl. You are doing a great job. Know that. Doing the best that you can. But yeah, we appreciate you guys, and we hope you guys have a great weekend. We thank you guys for supporting us. It means a whole lot. So see y'all later.